my own enjoyment, not because I've like watched it with another half or something, was when they used to do the UFC, the Ultimate Fighter one, and all the lads lived together in the house, and they did all that, and it kind of has that feeling to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's basically what it's the rugby league lads. They've all auditioned. There's some lads who've had a bit of a career, but none of them have ever actually played full first grade. I think there must be some. Or there's a couple that have come very close.
Yeah.
But there's lads from all over the world that have gone into it. There's a couple of English lads playing in there. There's a couple of Fijians and a Papuan.
Yeah, one of the English lads plays in the rugby sevens, doesn't he?
Yeah. And there's another
side.
There's another lad. I think they've both been fairly heavily involved in union, because the bigger lad has played. I don't know if he was playing sevens or whether he'd played at like schoolboy level, but he's played a lot of union growing up. And then Dan Caprice was a trialist at Bradford early this season.
Oh right, okay.
I don't know if this is filmed before or after.
It will have been filmed before.
I presume
it looked like the Australian summer.
I presume it was before.
Yeah.
So whether or not that tells is that a spoiler that Dan Caprice was on trial at the Bulls and then didn't stay. But anyway, it's just reality TV about rugby league and Harry Moan's on it. So cheers.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the NFL undrafted.
Oh, I never saw
that. Where they pick a load of players who didn't get signed during the draft, and then one of them gets a contract.
I do have a bit of an objection.
It's a lot better than that Chelsea find a star footballer thing.
Yeah. I do have a bit of an objection sometimes to competitions that are about finding a rugby league player, and then they have challenges that have no grounding in rugby league. Like there was a fitness one, and they had to run up a flight. We're a bit further behind the Aussies. They had to run up a flight of stairs and then like abseil off a building. Like, okay, do the running up the flight of stairs bit because that's that goes to fitness. But some poor guy could have been out because he couldn't jump off. But the geezer that couldn't jump off the building, it wasn't like, oh no, I'm a bit scared, I don't want to do that. The guy was like having a fucking panic attack.
Yeah,
think, well,
it was genuine.
Maybe this is a little bit.
They focus more on that big Kiwi lad who was like, "Oh, I'm shit scared of heights."
Yeah,
and then actually the one who's got a genuine terrified phobia.
Yeah, exactly. And he looks like one of the better players as well. And the other one I like in there is I'm guessing it's Matt Gillett's younger brother. Is it Royden, something like that?
I'm not sure. He looked good in the game, didn't he? In the second episode,
he looked like he played.
I think the English forward. The lad
Frizu, something like that. Yeah,
he looks pretty decent. Yeah.
Big unit, and I feel really sorry for the blonde-haired lad, Matt Thingy, the one that was injured.
Oh, Gorman.
Gorman seems like he could be a player, and I was like, kick him out. He hasn't played.
Gaia was like, fuck him off.
Fucking dickheads, because you know he can play. Anyway, so that's my first one. Watch the NRL.
Whereas that kind of knob-headish police guy one.
I didn't like him at all. He looked like a right smug prick.
He looks like the kind of guy who takes the power the wrong way when it's the shooting.
Yeah, I really.
I hope not.
Yeah, exactly. The lad that went home.
They've got to do the narrative. You've experienced that. You know what the narrative sort of situation is like.
Exactly. You do that.
Reality shows, don't we?
Yeah.
Have you got anything to tell us? Well, you're not getting past this stage then.
I've had a tough upbringing of now, my copper. Yeah, great stuff. But he keeps bringing it up. The lad that went home in the first week.
They've been told to, haven't they?
Definitely. The young winger whose dad had played a bit of first grade. He definitely deserved to go. Every time he opened his mouth, every time he opened his mouth, it looked like he was close to tears. So I think that was the right one. But if you haven't watched it yet and you're here in the UK, because I know the Aussies are basically finished with it now, NRL Rookie, and that's on Sky at 10 o'clock after the games on a Thursday and a Friday night.
You can catch up as well.
I'm sure you can.
Because I did yesterday.
Oh, right, is that how you did it? Okay. My second recommends was something I discovered on Netflix. I've tried to broaden my horizons a little bit, tiny bit, in terms of what I'm watching on Netflix. I'm getting away from series and trying to watch documentaries and just learn a little bit more. I watched the documentary called The Resurrection of Jake the Snake this week, and it was fascinating because it was quite a heartwarming story. You know the wrestler Jake the Snake Roberts from like the late 80s.
I'm familiar with
late 80s, early 90s. Well, I recall him but he was in it at the time. I was really into wrestling as like a 8, 9, 10-year-old. And it follows the same sort of story that you would expect from, a lot of these guys that you hear about, that they've fallen on hard times, that they get addicted to things like, pain medication and become alcoholics and stuff like that. And it's kind of cliched, really, in some respects, in terms of what the guy what Jake the Snake Roberts has gone through. But actually, it's a documentary made about some of his friends, some ex-wrestlers, sort of rallying around him and trying to support him and getting through. And he's obviously a very damaged guy, do you know what I mean? And I think he's fairly mentally ill as well in some respects, not just because he's an alcoholic. But it was a really uplifting story, and watching this group of people that had this love and respect for this, you know, for this icon of the sport coming together and kind of trying to look after him and make things better for him. And I won't say too much about how the story goes because it's a really interesting one if you want to watch it. So I would recommend that, the resurrection of Jake the Snake.
What was your little rabbit ears thing then?
Oh, that's nothing. It really is just something to tell you and tell you something I thought about that maybe something that happened at work today that made me think of you and Emma. That
okay, fair enough.
We may as well address it now that we've brought it up on the podcast. You know, professionally I sign up hotels to advertising contracts, and recently I've completed a contract with a hotel in Azerbaijan, which is in the Flame Towers in Azerbaijan. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but they're quite an impressive building that comes out of like the old sort of the historic Tartar part of Azerbaijan. It rises up like these three flames coming out, and they're dead modern, so it was quite well juxtaposed against it. And I had a proper look around them online today. That's doing part of my work, and I thought, fucking hell, Mark, can I ever be banging at that?
That's the big thing these days. They're building something, keeping the old, but putting something new, either inside it or on top of it. Actually, in Glasgow, there was a lot of buildings that have got new extensions that fit in to the sort of typography.
So it's not totally pertinent to the podcast, but that I drew it to remind myself to tell you about it.
People like that sort of stuff. People like
the Flame Towers. Azerbaijan is a fascinating country, Baku particularly. There's so much money there, and kind of the clash at the moment, or coming together of a really old culture and all this oil money coming out, and people are investing in it, and it's a really
kind of like you
a more exciting Dubai. Dubai was basically a sandpit that exploded upwards, whereas Azerbaijan has a real history to it, and it's obviously an ex-Soviet nation, and it's quite a fascinating place to learn about as well. So maybe SLP recommends you find out about Azerbaijan this week as well, because it really is interesting stuff.
Good stuff.
Okay, next week then, Mark, we're going to be back to normal in terms of people's feedback and shout outs and what have you, but let's go over the Google form and really hammer it home at people about how to get in touch with the show.
Well, I'll put the links out because you're incapable, and then I'll set them up.
Do I need to take you back to page 1 of the rundown and read you some of the quotes?
People know your ego needs a massage. I know I need to rein you in and let you know how little you actually do to get the normal runnings of the show. No, but in all seriousness, so the Google form will be up there. It'll be there Thursday through to about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock on Sunday night, when I'll take it down, because at that point I'll need to start putting a show together for you all. And get your reviews in on any game you see. If it's not one of the chosen games, it'll be click other, write the name of the game, and we'll get on board with it. It'll be great to have reviews on every game like we did this week.
That's fantastic. There are loads of other ways to get in touch with us if you want to feed back to the show, though, or to get involved with us on social media. We're on Twitter at Super League Pod. You can find us on Facebook by searching for Super League Pod. And if you want to send us a more wordy piece or something that's thought-provoking that you think we might benefit from discussing on the show, by all means send us an email, and that's superleaguepod@gmail.com.
There's no new blogs, but superleaguepod.blogspot.co.uk.
There's plenty of material for you to sink your teeth into.
Go and have a little read of some of our long form pieces.
That's it. Drop us a review.
We have an Instagram that we don't use.
We have an Instagram that we don't use. Yeah, absolutely. And also, drop us a review on iTunes if you're an Apple user. Have a go on there and tell us what you think. We're properly 5-star at the minute, but feel free to let us know what you're really thinking and give us another review. That'd be wonderful. So that wraps the show up completely and puts a little bow in it for us all. We'll see you next time on the Super League Pod.